Hey everybody, CVH here, and in today's video I have some highlights with Rage Archer on the Legend ladder. And in case you're looking for the deck list, it is all of this with the last Vigilant Giant and Tazcat at the bottom there. But I wanted to bring Rage Archer back yet again to the YouTube channel for a couple of reasons. The first of which being the last time I featured the deck a couple weeks back, it was pre-card changes. We had a recent patch about last week that did alter a couple cards in the deck, which I'll get into in a second, but also the Clockwork Scorpions. I think this is the main, maybe even the only or one of the only differences between this build and the one I played a couple weeks back. And in that version, I was testing Clockwork Dragon, as you can see here. And it was an alright card, but I have to say, after testing the Clockwork Scorpions, I found it to be quite potent, as you might have heard me mention in my underrated cards from Return to Clockwork City video. Clockwork Scorpion has been pretty solid. I'm glad I gave it a shot in this deck. I recommend you do as well. It has been a pretty solid all-around card that has enabled me to not lean so hard on Snake Tooth Necklace. As you can see, we're not playing that narrow card that really only accomplishes one thing, and we get to play a little bit more of well-rounded cards. We've moved away from the Clockwork Dragons in favor of the Scorpions, and again, back to the card changes. A lot of you are probably wondering, because I haven't played the deck on this YouTube channel since the card changes, if I still think this deck is powerful, and I have to say, I do indeed. Rage Archer, and I might get a decent amount of hate for this in the comments, but to be perfectly honest, I couldn't care less. It's just one of my favorite decks in Legends. A lot of decks do fall into that sort of monotony where they curve out and just play the best creature or action in their hand every single turn for the amount of magicka they have, and Rage Archer plays in a sort of a different way. It's not a combo deck, but it does function like a control deck, and I've always found it interesting to try to navigate the early turns and see the most efficient ways to remove the opponent's threats based on the matchup, and then later you have to find the appropriate way to close out the game, which might involve Baroness and Vigilant Giant giving you a lot of value, or the Journey to Sovngarde. And this card ensures that if you want, this deck can go deep into the late game, so it's very interesting in that respect to me. But as for the card changes themselves, Unstoppable Rage moved up to 8 magicka, and Thieves Guild Recruit moved to reducing the card it draws by 1 if the card costs 7 or more, as opposed to 2. And as I mentioned in the video discussing the card changes, if you don't want to look at those, I did suggest exactly that change to Thieves Guild and exactly that magicka increase to Unstoppable Rage, and I think they take the edge off of those cards and allow them to not feel quite as unfair, but they retain their potency. They're still very constructed playable, and honestly, Ramp Scout in its prime was probably the most difficult matchup for Rage Archer, in my opinion, that you saw on the ladder constantly, that is, because Ramp Scout was incredibly popular, and I think the nerfs to Ramp Scout were more beneficial to Rage Archer than these nerfs to this deck were detrimental. So while this deck did decrease in power levels somewhat, it also has Clockwork Scorpion now, which is pretty cool, and also you don't have to deal with Ramp Scouts quite as much. So if you're wondering if it's a good time to play Rage Archer, I recommend it. I think it's a good deck. I think it's an interesting deck. Hopefully you agree, and if you enjoy the video and the games, feel free to leave a like and stay subscribed for more Legends content. Follow my stream in the description, and I'll see you next time. Every time I want to play Goblins, someone says play Orcs. I think Goblins are fine. I think I would rather play Goblins than Orcs in that particular matchup, for what it's worth. I mean, if Orcs draws perfectly with Stone Shard, but they also don't have an answer to Goblin Skulk. And I think Goblins race a little bit better. This hand is really not that bad. You could play Garnag in... oh, Gortwag, you mean? You said Gorwag, which I'm not sure is a card. It's like a fusion of Garnag and Gortwag. If you want to play Goblin Archer, you could play that.
As long as I draw breath, I've got you covered.
Maybe mid-rangey?
Let's heat things up.
We're just teching in the Dawn Stars.
I will prepare something special for them.
I'm gonna say mid-rangey.
Don't mess with me.
Hold the ring charge for now, I think. Mid-rangey is a problem. It means Jav, and Jav means Clockwork Scorpion sometimes gets pretty sad.
Prepare something special
Wow.
for them.
Don't miss.
I think I like this first. I can take a little bit more damage, and I can even go Astrid, Sanctuary, Pet, and Gambit next turn. If I play Astrid before some of that. Jav here is just the actual worst. But he can't play Belligerent Giant next, or he can't play Belligerent Giant this turn if he is playing it. Then it won't be as good next turn.
Dinner is served.
Okay, this life gain is pretty inconsequential.
I'll lead my family to glory.
Seems good.
Dinner is served.
I like this little snowman in the bottom left. I think I might keep him around even after Christmas. If Streamlabs keeps him around. I hope so. We are getting along.
What have we here?
The void awaits you.
I do want to use one of these contracts, right? Because I might overdraw if I don't. Eventually. Because I'm getting more. I'm actually getting too many. Yeah, I get too many contracts. Okay, it's fine. Let's move the covered one over, I guess. And the cool thing about him being at 42 is I can drain face a ton without even giving him a card. Nah, using contract's usually worse than using ring because you can't double ring in a turn. Like, if you use them in the way to where you have one contract and 2 ring charges, it's worse than having 1 ring charge and 2 contracts because I can play up to like, I can play infinite contracts in a turn. So next turn, I'm up to 8 magicka with a ring and 3 contracts, which is essentially 12. But if I had 3 ring charges and 1 contract, it's a max of 9 magicka I can use. It does lead itself to some overdrawing situations, but I'm not too concerned about that. I think we're in a pretty okay spot anyway. Might just do something nuts to clear this so I don't get another Belligerent Giant wrecking me. See here, I might use one because I will overdraw. Guaranteed. Could play Astrid this turn, but I don't want to play it right on the off chance he is playing Rage.
I'll lead my family to glory.
My scale.
I'll keep that covered. I'm not sure if that's ever relevant, but I can probably smack for that one. Is Renowned Legate any good, or should I Soul Trap it? Probably Soul Trap it, yeah. You can use it as supplemental heal if you're trying to build like a budget version of a control deck and you're missing Undying Dragon or something, but besides that, he is playing it. But it's not that great of a turn anyway.
Just give me a name.
Let's go then. My time is precious.
9.
I
9
am
life.
sworn to protect you.
Or I could just rage this. That gains me a lot of life very quickly. Don't know about that though. Don't know about that.
Let's go then. My time is precious.
The void awaits you.
Shall we put in a dishonest day's work?
I'm not gonna attack because I can attack for 8 for free. Which I might still be able to do if I attack for 1. But I'm not gonna risk it. What if one breakthrough somewhere goes somewhere? I don't know.
Cannot hope to outrun destiny.
Dude, Moroccanus? That's surprising. He got really aggressive if he was trying to be a control deck. Okay.
What have we here?
The forest is my cloak.
Not that Rage is game winning or anything, but I'd really like to drain with this, and if he rages, I don't, obviously. Yeah, I thought he was just like a kind of slow mid-range deck that happened to be playing Rage, but then the control cards came out. And that's okay, because we're way ahead in cards if it is going to be a control mirror match. It's hard to not want to be in our position here out of the two. Gotta watch out for a Crusader's Assault Rage, but he already played a Rage. And I really couldn't do anything about it that turn. That wouldn't lose as much value as he would gain. Aw, don't kill it. He did not listen.
Yo, pursue!
These streets are mine.
I really don't have any good plays. I guess I can get him down to 26 and maybe just try to push for lethal in 2 turns.
These streets are
Do not
mine.
take you.
Just give me a name.
We must protect our stronghold.
Really? I like the new Leaf Flicker art a lot. I like the color scheme. I wish it was better animation, but meh. It's very tempting to just like sack a bunch of dudes and then play the journey. I think I'm gonna do it.
My scales move in shadow.
Let's heat things up.
It's nothing personal.
More than a third of my deck is now huge, and among them are the 2 Thieves Guilds traded in, as well as at least a Baroness, and a good amount of things, well, like 2 things with Drain, I guess, and a giant sweet roll, so it's, you know, two giant sweet rolls. We have giant pastries to draw now. It's great. Can't possibly lose when we have the giant pastries. He's gotta be holding a Jav. Or another Manticora. Well, he better have it, man. Wasn't even the largest thing I can draw.
These streets are mine.
I'm gonna go for a 2-turn.
My sights.
It's nothing personal.
I'll kill you where you stand.
If we got any Prophecy Creature, I can just go Fighters Guild, Contract, Gambit. Guess I can still play this.
The hist were written.
Yeah, it's fine. From hand, there's no crazy rage combos that kill me. Kind of anticlimactic because I just played a pretty big journey. I'm just like, let's attack. I mean, he blanked that entire turn. What am I gonna do? If I can pressure, develop Tazcad, and also have removal for a single Prophecy Creature, like, let's just try it out, see what happens. Odoving doesn't save him, Marak is gone and wouldn't save him, Manticore doesn't save him. Hunger Rage is good enough. I think. Didn't actually do the math here, hold on. Okay, that is possibly good enough. It's actually not, if that's the turn. We go 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 13.
These streets are mine.
Yeah, it
These
should.
streets
Is it?
are
Hold on.
mine.
I'm gonna go in.
I'll kill you where you stand.
Alright, so he's at 6, so then we just gambit over, shoot him down to 5, and hope this isn't a prophecy. And rage this and deal exactly 5.
That was fought well.
I didn't do that right. Oops. Yeah, I just could have gotten the attack in last. I don't know what's wrong with me. My bad. My bad, guys. He said fought well, but it was not fought well. As I did it, I was like, wait a minute. It's exact lethal. Did it wrong. I don't know what deck this is. Yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about the rank. Eating a bomb-ass chimichanga from the Mexican restaurant around the corner.
There's a plan. There's always a plan.
I'm glad to hear it's working out for you, Fantasy. Sometimes life is good, right?
I'll lead my family.
Give me the
to
value,
glory.
please. Yeah, it's really only the one church gig, but, like, I have to leave here in an hour and 15 minutes.
There's always a plan.
Because yesterday and today we had 7 o'clock shows. Then I have to be there like 5:30 or 5:15.
The void awaits you.
In before a new rage Reddit thread in 5 minutes. I'd like to see a thread insulting you for doing it in the wrong order because I did it in the wrong order. And that's just a fact. A lot of tokens. Not feeling too bad about the matchup, especially since we're playing so many Dushnikyal
The
archers.
forest is my
And I think
dwelling.
3 is probably the right number. Christian rock and stuff. I'm on keys. Got like a big, how many pieces? I don't know. I have bass, drums, like 3 guitar players, me on keys, piano, 2 violinists. It's a big thing. It seats like 1,000 people. It's nice. It's good stuff, man. Good stuff.
What have we here?
It's awkward. I'm not so sure if it's worth it. I'm just gonna pass. I could play this in the right. If it gets firebolted, I'm sad. I don't know if he's playing that. I'll play it in the right. Yeah. I'll set up for Gambit. But I don't really need to play it this turn. Let's do it next turn. Yeah, I also got a request to like go to someone's house and play Christmas carols for their Christmas party, and I turned that down. I'm not doing that. I'm not taking a gig on Christmas this time. Not that I have before, but this feels like it'd be very annoying. I really don't even need a Gambit.
My scales move in shadow.
If we say it's mid-range and not tokens, which I think the Cleric and the Harpy indicate, then I really don't need to save Skaven too long. Yeah, the Brynjolf and Astrid, they cost more, and like the rages were like you get 3 premium cards for the value they'd be spending on 1 premium Brynjolf or Astrid. I do want them. I've just been waiting a bit after Clockwork to figure out if there were any things I really needed from that set premium. Well, I don't really have any exciting plays.
I'll kill you where you stand.
I can deny the tome by like moving that over, but I'm using a Gambit, which I'm pretty sure is more important. And then he's gonna get it eventually.
I keep a spare blade in my boot.
I'm gonna sleep Gambit. For now. You might tome, and then play something in the field lane, and then it's a great Gambit. I get confused by the green screen and wonder what that gaping hole in your knee is. Wait, gaping hole? Is something in my knee phasing out? Oh, wait. The cup is, but it's a green cup, so. It's just my knee. I'm sticking it up, yeah. Perhaps a Phalanx exemplar in the field lane? Feels good to have Crown Quartermaster and 2 Circle Initiates in hand with the ring. I feel that. Ooh, yeah, this is a, it's a pretty good Gambit or a pretty good TES cat. I think I'll just do that. Simpler.
I have many important things on my mind.
Careful there, friend.
We must protect our stronghold.
I guess I'll play this, but I don't know if I need to. Eh. Being at 29 sucks. This is why like every point matters, even if you don't think it will, because now that he's at 29, I can't gain this 4 life whenever I
A
want.
little distraction might prove
Okay, so I
useful.
might have forgotten about that dagger. That's on me. But that just means Werebad has something to do. And if I don't Gambit, I don't have. If I do Gambit, I don't have to lose both of my dudes.
Just give me an A.
Now we just need to find the late game. We're 18 cards in and haven't seen a single Baroness or Vigilant Giant. Those are the cards that put him away. I'd rather save the Fighters Guild, so I'm gonna do this. You could also make the argument to just put this in. I don't know. It doesn't actually, because I can't get the contract anyway. This is fine. I think the sad thing is that if Wolves get good, I don't even know if Wolf Cage is good in the deck because it's so slow. Wolves seem like they'd be an aggro strategy. I guess it depends what kind of actual good Wolf cards they give us. Alright, I don't think Wolf Cage was the win condition for Support Mage, but you can play it in Support Mage, and it might win a game here or there because it's kind of an annoying card. Like, I saw people playing 1 and 2 of them, but I don't know if it was like the main win condition. Where are the card draws? Where are the Giants and the Baronesses?
This one has you now.
Or even just a semi-large journey. I prefer Giant or Baroness first, though.
Never give ground.
If it's all the same to you, game. We attack that and then shoot that. I mean, I've killed pretty much everything, and I don't think this deck does too well in the late game. And at Ringleader is interesting.
May the ancestors bless us.
Is that really the only action in this entire game? That's pretty funny.
We must protect our stronghold.
Goldbrand's the win condition?
Never give ground.
I mean, the win condition is running your opponents out of options. It doesn't actually require you to draw any one specific support. If it did, the deck would be terrible. Maybe a Plant Rage. If I play a Fighter's Guild, it just gets removed. I could use him to fuel the rage.
Your time has come.
It's gonna be smart and play one thing a turn.
If I fall, the Hist will reclaim me.
This match is gonna take a while. I mean, it might.
I will prepare something special.
Oh, he's playing gourmets, huh? Okay.
Never get the best of us. Farewell, fool.
Really over there.
If I fall, the Hist will
Farewell, fool.
Yeah, he should have played that in the right. I'm pretty sure. Mystic Dragon. It's time to go offensive. Not for a while with this deck. We're control decks, we just want to run them out of options and then play big stuff. Alright, we have 3 Baronesses and 3 Vigilant Giants, so we've seen half the deck and drawn 0 out of 6 of them. But I think it should be fine, because I'm about to play Journey, and I think he's going to have to pack it in pretty quickly after that. I'm just going to hold Werebat, I think. I think he's forced to play everything in the right. And then I go Werebat Rage and gain a bunch of life. Or not, I don't know.
Farewell, fool.
We must protect our stronghold.
In case it gets shoved on I top deck Leaf Lurker. Probably irrelevant.
Farewell, fool.
Oh yeah, because he got one back.
We fight.
I'm picking up what you're putting down. It's annoying.
I'll lead my family to glory.
I'd definitely rather gain 4 than get 1 contract here.
Fool.
Careful there, friend.
We'll hold, no matter what.
The void awaits you.
So I played 3 large things out of 12? No, that was like 15. Yeah, we have a lot more gas, and we still haven't drawn Baroness or Vigilant Giant, which are naturally kind of large, which is why I would have liked to draw them in the first 25 turns. But it was not meant to be. Yeah, he's got to trade everything into that, and that's annoying for him.
What have we here?
I don't want that. I don't want to attack right now. I mean, I'll just sit on this 8-12. Whatever. I don't want to give him 1 card right now. The 8 value is not enough.
Do your worst.
He's not an aggro deck. He's mid-range. This deck only thrives when the opponent's also giving him cards.
My scales move in shadow.
Like, it doesn't matter. As long as I don't lose the game, I will win the long game. I'll eventually draw Vigilance and I'll eventually draw Baroness, and he can't compete with that because he can only draw 1 card a turn. So I will eventually win the long game, and he knows that. Or he'll just concede to the 8-12. That's also fair.